It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke. I wanted to say it's stupid and let's move on, but then you kept going.
I'm Ben Glauser. I don't like the way anybody handled that.
Collusion. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Let's go to it. It's Fantasy Corner time. Ba-ba-da-ba. It's the fun time. Oh, it was such a bit of a topsy-turvy weekend for some.
Yeah, up and down. Like the scores were, I guess, a little lower than I expected around the comp.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that reflected, like, there were only 3 players in our division, or in my division anyway, who had over 100 points. I had 98.
There were 3 here as well.
Yeah. So
almost, yeah, there was a 96 as well.
Yeah. So that yeah. It was a little bit of a struggle this week.
Yeah, I think people are just still figuring things out, obviously.
Well, I also think just points were not what they would expect to be. You look at the players who are available on the waiver wire, and it's not like there's massive points that were just left. There were some,
there, yeah.
but it's yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good for a lot of things, and there was some, and like I pointed out some of the big busts in my column.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big ones for me were like Theo, who obviously did poorly. I called into Mac. I said, "Don't fucking start him," but
yep.
I know. I have a thing of like putting a hex on those names when I put them in red and green on the far right of our sheet, but that was one I was very confident in. Stockdale from Ulster was a huge shock. Like, he's been great for a long time, you know. So I will say before, real quick, and I know we got to get to the other stuff in a somewhat speedy fashion here. Meters made is a huge thing in this competition. Remember that. That is one of the big ones I would be looking at, especially for players that didn't have try involvements but still did well, like Mike Haley. I don't think he had try involvement at all. Still put up a nice number. What did he end up with? He ended up with 17. That's a nice number. That's the type of number that won't go into a slump if he's doing that all the time.
Right. For not having a try, that's really good.
Right. Let me double check and make sure my homework's right. Yeah. No tries, no try assists.
Yeah. Oh, wow. No try involvement. Oh, wow. That's impressive. Yeah.
So stuff like that, you know, and then yellow card. And like I said, on the other end of it, yellow cards are annoying, but like those aren't the things to necessarily avoid someone for.
Right.
Like more look at the mistakes, like penalties conceded, turnovers conceded, missed tackles, which is a big one. Fly halves are really bad at missed tackles. Like Chris Smith and Finn Russell were the top 2 this week. And when I included that, I didn't include any of the front row stats in terms of the top stats.
Because
they're going to have a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah, there's 6, sometimes 7, depending on how things are broken down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff, but like turnovers conceded and missed tackles and you know, stuff like that. Those are things to be worried about. And also if somebody's not doing good on the other categories that we already talked about, like clean breaks and meters made. If somebody's not showing up in that and they're showing up on the other end of it, avoid. Avoid. It doesn't matter the name. Avoid.
Exactly. That's just, you're not going to get points. So
nope. Not at all.
Stop trying to force it.
Not at all. Let's go to Champi-Yanks League. Let's start with the Hicks.
The Hicks. I guess that's me, huh? So the Hicks, our rankings are okay, hold on. If I can get it right. Yippee Try is Stu.
That's Stu.
Stu is okay. So he's in the lead with, well, we have 3 1-0 teams. Stu, Dead Ants Alex, who beat me, bastard. And Ruck and Cover, which is Sophia. And then Mark, myself, and Carrick all are 0-1. How it happened was Stu had 159.4 over Mark, who had 101. It's really a battle of the Titans.
That's a painful loss to eat.
Right, because you scored the 3rd most and still lost. And then Alex spanked me pretty good, 138 to 98.
Just a good number, yeah.
yeah, I had some of my guys who just didn't put up the numbers that I would expect. So, good stuff. And his guys showed up. Some of his didn't, but it kind of all worked out a little bit better. Like Chunza just was a fucking, I don't know.
Zero.
I'm annoyed because I added him late because I was like, well, it's 3 points, and it got 0 for it.
And he got 0. Yeah, that was a real shock for me.
And then yeah, Sophia won in a kind of the relative pillow fight. Over she was the fifth best scorer and won over the sixth best scorer, 87 to 83.
Oh man. Well, sometimes you get the luck of the draw.
Right.
Yeah. That's not dissimilar over here either.
Yeah. And the players that I've questioned that Sophia drafted, like the Slades and Harris's, and even to some extent the DuPont. That's what.
Yeah, I knew DuPont was going to struggle as well. Like,
yeah,
he made my rankings, but as like he was outside of the starter range, like possibly playable. But if you have someone else a little higher, do that. Yeah, you had to know he was going to have a tough day over there at Tolman Park.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and in the skids. I beat George. George did not deserve to lose because he scored the second most points on the weekend.
Yeah.
But I scored the most. What are you gonna do? Yeah, for like I didn't play a lock, but I didn't have anybody score negative, and George had 2, and that was the killer right there. Just that right there alone.
I will kill you. Yeah,
was probably what did him in. Lagarak and Theo both got negatives, so less than awesome. And I had some bad scores too, but just I was able to cover it up with a little bit better, like La Rochelle front row.
Yeah,
not bad. Didn't do too bad. And Tom Willis. Thank the sweet baby Tebow for Tom Willis.
And he was on my bench, and he won't. Man. That won't be. Yeah, I started Don Brandt. That was silly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I started Marchant and Care, so.
Yeah,
neither of which were awesome.
I started Care as well. So yeah. Marchant was actually also on my bench. So we have a lot of the same team. That's funny.
Yeah.
Marchant was on my bench, but it would have done better for me too.
Yeah. The relative pillow fight, as you had put it, Tigers and Tiger Feet, our good friend Duncan and Luke. Luke got the job done. Auto draft not so awesome for Duncan's sake. Yeah, Farrell was his best asset at 19. A lot of zeros and negatives, so that's less than awesome, but that happens sometimes. But hey, Luke drew the lucky straw. He scored the second least points, but he played the right team, and sometimes that is luck of the draw. And then Justin took care of our good friend, the fighting spirit of Cobus, and that was that was about a 30-point gap there. So that was fairly easy in those terms. Yeah. Morrow was a negative on Cobus's team. Capuzzo got 0 before he came off, which sucks. And
like I said,
some bad ones
down,
too. Justin had some bad ones too. He had Tommy Allen who had 0.1, Peter Aki who had 2.1, but then he also had the Leinster front row and Sam Simmons, so that helps. And Andreas Esterhazen, who had a brace and almost had a hat trick. So, good and bad. Good and bad. Good and bad. All right. So, we've reached the point where we're doing start set. Although, actually, do standings need to be that clear at this point? I'm on top, Justin, and then Luke. And then, obviously, George, Cobus, and Duncan. Then we have. So we're I'm going to go through very similar like I did last week. I'm not going to look to go too wild and crazy in terms of trying to make some super astute guesses with this whole thing.
No. This is like those guys that you want, and mine are. It'll be clear. I'm kind of the same way. I'm
right.
There's so many teams, so many options.
Right.
That. You're not going to be playing like if you're on the third or fourth player from one team, you're picking the wrong guy.
You probably
go to somewhere else.
Yeah, unless you're playing somebody that's a team that's like not awesome. But yeah,
right.
Like if Ulster show up the same way they did this week, last
exactly.
Week, then
my spoiler alert: my notes for La Rochelle are play everyone. Like, yeah.
Right.
So there.
Right.
But
But yeah, so let's start with
anyway,
Friday night. Friday night. I think I got the first one, yeah.
I think they start at the same time, so I don't think it matters.
Right.
But
Well, I have Leinster Gloucester, right?
right. Go
Okay,
for it.
so that's the one. All right. So for Leinster, there's gonna be a lot of
Oh,
names
they
here,
don't
but
start at the same time. Sorry. Go
but
ahead.
I think Leinster starts that afternoon.
Yeah, they start they're an hour apart.
Yay. I like this. I like this. Leinster, Burn or Sexton, either one's fine. Yes. Gibson Park is in as well. I would definitely play them. Let's see. Loose forwards, Vanderfleer. That's probably needs to be the biggest name in the whole thing. Ringrose in the midfield, and then any of the back three is fine, honestly. And then the front row, yes. Gloucester. I would avoid 10, 12, 13, honestly. Those need to be shown.
Yeah.
They don't have a back row that I'm really excited about, honestly, unless it's Pelledri.
No. Right.
Their front rows a go. They've shown they can do it. And then like if we see like Reece Sammet, yes. But other than that, I'm a little meh on the back line at the moment, which is and then their halfbacks I still need to see it. Yeah. So there's that.
Off to Bordeaux versus the Sharks. And there's three names to talk about here, and one of them's not even a name really. It's Bordeaux's front row. Should do okay. Tom Willis is worth playing for Bordeaux. That's about it on their side. For the Sharks, Ma Pimpy.
Yep.
Everyone else, no. So that's it. I'm not expecting much from this game as from a fantasy perspective.
Okay.
At least there's options elsewhere. We'll have we'll have a full start sit, but these are the guys. Like, if it's not one of those people I mentioned, look somewhere else.
Yeah, if it's not in that, and if it's not in the 5 that we put out there for one reason or another, like generally avoid. Generally avoid. If you're in a pinch, you can ask us, but yeah.
A Red Wings got Lindros.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
It's not a good. Well, yeah, it's okay. I guess he got Scott Stevens.
Also, I don't know if that's a good thing.
He was the Lindros. Somebody else was the Scott Stevens. It's
yeesh. All right. We got Bulls and Exeter down in Sandy Park on Saturday. So let's go with the Bulls. So I think we'll see Kurtley Arden says so. He's a thumbs up for me. I'm not convinced on the halfback Vendelinda because he had 3 try involvements this past weekend. So that speaks to, if he can keep that rate up, great. But that's not sustainable. So I'm gonna go with a no on that. Similani, that's not the right game. Sorry. Open my mouth too early. Marcel Coetzee and Carr are probably gonna be good plays there. Other than that, I'm kind of out of it. Yeah, pass. Exeter. Sam Simmons is a go. Maybe Joe.
Yeah.
I said maybe. I didn't say them all.
Yeah, I know.
Leave the halfbacks on the sideline, as usual. It's not a new thing. Woodburn, maybe Hogg. That's what I'm going. Yeah, and then if you're hot up for a lock, I don't think Schuens is going to score nothing. So go ahead and play him as well.
He should score.
He'll be fine this week. That's a blip, not a reality.
All right, up north, Edinburgh hosting Cast. I'd steer clear of the Edinburgh pack. Again, as Jared was saying about those meters made being a huge thing, and they don't have runners in that pack. So I'm not that meh. As I said on the other pod, if James Lang is as busy versus Cast as he was versus Sarries, he actually might be worth a pickup for this 2-game swing. Because he could put up some points in it. On the other side for Cast, I looked just to for shits and giggles at the player availability. There's not a single Cast player selected on a team in the Hicks division. I support that.
Right.
Just don't.
Yeah, I think Nikos is the only one I'd throw a punt at. Maybe Ardron. That's it.
Maybe, but yeah, those are some pretty big punts, and there's other players who
they're punts.
A little bit, yeah,
They're total punts.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's true.
Yeah, that's all they are. Sometimes you get a late drop and like, fuck, what do I do?
Right.
That's that situation. That's exactly what that is. That's
right.
that
Like,
situation
I
right
don't
there.
like. I just you kind of like go to the starter page, or you go to
The player hub page and
player
find the
player
starter.
hub, find the starter, and just pick one, and you click the button and
That
see
one's
which one
good.
comes up.
That one works.
All right, guess I'm
Yeah.
going with him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Leon and Ceres. Yay. So let's start with the hosts. Let's go with for the hosts, both if he's in, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
For him, it wasn't just his score. I think it's the highest score of the weekend. His score wasn't just his tries; it was also the other things he did, which makes him somebody that's viable at the very least. So, give him a thumbs up. If you're hot up for a lock, tough for Fanua, maybe Kuyu, but Van Zel's been a dick to most halfbacks this year, so that would be my one thing with that. And I don't love their OBs or their mids. And they played like 3 guys that were, I think, fly half or halfback eligible last week. It was kind of weird. So just Bordeaux. I mean, if you're really hot up for it, have fun. Anyway, for the series, Theo and Earl both should have better weeks, although Earl didn't have a bad one, but Theo had a terrible one.
He wasn't bad at all.
Atoje should have a better week. Yeah, this is those Jekyll and Hyde games you get with Mario sometimes, and that was definitely the Mr. Hyde version. Right. Daly is a midfielder by list, so he's a thumbs up totally because he's probably playing in the back 3 somewhere. Tomo as well. And then if Malins is healthy, he's probably it there. And as much as I like those guys, I'll leave him at home.
Yeah, Lewington and Maitland are not.
No,
they're not runners.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, off to where am I?
Going to Welford Road.
Ooh, it's Welford Road. Leicester hosting Claremont. For Leicester, I'd expect similar results as last time. Atkinson is a break glass in case of emergency. Watson is too, in my estimation, just because he's still in prove it territory to me. Like, show me your back fully before I'm willing to get back on that train. Love him, but not ready to bump him as a fantasy option yet. Potter could score again, and Porter should score better, but neither are guys I'd be happy about having. On the other side, for Claremont, I'd expect less from Newsom, maybe more of the same from Plisson, especially off the tee. I don't, maybe probably won't have that long ass try, but that still get some pretty decent points. It'll add up.
Right.
And Raka and Pinot, like, you kind of expect more, but Leicester also, they're not what they were, but they're still the same type of defense. What they're missing is that attack that they don't have the deadly attack that they had last year.
Right.
But the defense is still there. They'll choke you out. So not good times for Claremont to be visiting this location against this team.
Right. As Ospreys probably found out last week, except it's not. At least they were at home.
Right.
Okay. Stormers and Irish, so both teams are actually going to be in the same boat here because Stormers have traveled. So they're gonna be kind of in the same boat. Obviously, Stormers are still getting the home cooking. So there's that. But both teams have traveled. So I think we can put if Gonzalez is healthy, I'd give him a thumbs up. Hassel Collins did okay, so I think he'll do okay again. So that's a thumbs up. And then, yeah, I was disappointed with Will Joseph last week. JVR, Bernard, baby. Again, that's he's probably at this point. I'm going to say he's the more viable midfield option of the two. And leave dipshit at home. I wish Exiles would.
Yeah, seriously.
Bye. Wait for me. No, fuck you. You stay here. I wish. Not happening. Anyway, for the Stormers. Dion was that? Yeah, Free. I like him. The oldest first cap player ever, but or something like that. I don't hate their front row, so if you really are like into them, then go for it. Liebach or Willemse, Lee Block is probably the choice there. If
Mhm.
Willems was playing fullback, that's a different story. He's like an OB playing fly half, which I'm into.
Right.
And then
That's what I heard.
right. That's what I heard. Yeah, and that's it. I think that's pretty much it. I'm sure there's a name I'm missing, but for now we're gonna go with that.
All right. Off to Ulster hosting La Rochelle.
Oh boy.
I spoilered this one already, but for Ulster, take a flyer on Lowry. Everyone else is meh, big old bucket of fucking meh on this one. And then La Rochelle play everybody. Like find you a La Rochelle player if you have any doubt, and like if you're gonna, especially like if you're gonna take a punt on a La Rochelle player, because Ulster are not in. I don't think they're in this competition really.
That's my front row. Looking forward to it.
There you go.
All right. Astute observation there. Montpellier and Sprays. This won't be a whole lot different from that in a lot of ways. Carbonell, their front row.
Yeah.
Yep. Ryanak.
Yeah.
Ryanak. I benched him. That was stupid. Mercer, Doy. Yeah, if I need to tell you to play Zach Mercer, you were playing the wrong game.
I've never heard of that guy before.
Never heard of this man before in my life. Who was the midfielder that scored last week for them? The homegrown one. I'm missing my notes here.
I'm blanking.
Hold on. I know this answer. But anyway, he's good to go. I'll look that up later and I'll dig for it while you're doing your thing. Ben Lamb, Boutier, yes. Give them a whirl as well.
You're talking about Damon? Or
yes.
Damon? I don't know. Damon.
Yeah, him. Yes, you played really
Johnny
well.
Damon.
No. No. Thankfully not him. Yes, that guy. Ospreys. Jack Morgan's probably a punt, and that's
that's
might
a hell of a punt.
I mean, listen, he's a good player, so
yeah,
good players usually do okay. So, again, if you're going to take
a for Wales,
yeah, he should be. In my opinion, he should be in the back row for Wales. But hey,
right,
I'm nuts. So what are you gonna do?
Okay, off to France for Toulouse hosting Sale. Toulouse, God, just this tournament, like Dupont and Intimac, but especially Dupont, need to go to whoever did the drawings for this tournament and kick them in the balls until they feel better about it. Because
right, yeah, they got
this shaft. Just sucks for them. They play Sale now. Oh, it's just one shit after another.
I think they'll beat, but like defensively, it's going to be annoying as fuck.
Right. So like Dupont, Intimac, Labelle, Ramos, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle big time.
I think Ramos will be okay because he's kicking.
Yeah, but still, it's gonna be tough. On the other side for Sale, I don't know about the forward Dupreezes. I think although Robert should do okay, I think he's worth a look. He's probably available if you have a frontline issue. Again, either a late drop or the lineups don't look right to you for other matchups, or they're not working out in your favor. Go with Robert Dupreez. He'll be okay. He'll get you close to 20 points somehow, and you won't notice it during the match, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, this guy scored a ton of points for me. That's awesome.
Right.
A Flattery and Sale, the front row, are worth considering. At least having on your team prior to
my boom, releases. Which they haven't done this the whole season of the Prem. So I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Right. And then on the very plus side, Tom Curry and Joe Carpenter have been absolute class fantasy wise.
Agreed. All right. We are going to the Gardens for Saints and Munster, and that's going to be tough for Saints. Oh, I wish there was a lot of good news for Saints. There isn't. If Alex Mitchell's playing this game,
they're at home.
Yeah, they're at home, so that's the upside. Yeah, like they have chances. So like Freeman, like the back three could have a chance here. I don't know.
Right.
Alex Mitchell is probably the other one. If they play better, then Finn Smith's totally worth a shot. But like that's it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel good about Truck or anybody like that in the forwards. The front row, just fucking punt them. They're done. But yeah, that's it for the Munster. The men from Munster. Front row, yes. Joey Carberry, Doy. Craig Casey is a yes for me right now. Ty Byrne is a yes. Back row, go for it. Midfield, I'm struggling with. Man, I hope Frisch plays better. I'd love to just like.
Well, this should be a good.
Him.
If like this is a prove it match, certainly. Like
totally.
You're basically running on air. What can you do? If you don't have like 2 or 3 line breaks in this one, what the fuck?
Then you're going home.
Yeah.
Haley and anybody else playing in the back three, but especially Haley, Mike Haley, I would totally give a thumbs up to.
Yep.
And that's it.
And then Quinn's hosting Rossing at the Stoop.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah, I expect Quinn's to be sluggish again on the return home, just kind of like they were in South Africa. Really, there's only 2 must starts, and that's Morley and Andre. Everyone else is kind of meh. Like drop them down, or think like depress their what you would assume they would get normally by like 5 or 10 points, and adjust that accordingly. For Rossing, the thing about Quins is that their best defense was their attack. And if their attack isn't clicking, their defense has openings. We saw that live in person.
Yeah.
We saw them
Saints. Yeah. Saints made life miserable for them.
Right. And one Finifer Russell, I think that's his full name, should do really well. Wade himself might be popcorn worthy in this match. There's a lot going on. I was
thinking about him earlier. I was like,
there's a lot going on there. So
that is tasty.
In a format
in a format that rewards attack, that is tasty right there. So whoever got him might have just got themselves a jackpot. We'll see.
Yeah, although
I might just put the hex on it, so we'll see.
Yeah, because we both put it this way: we both agree that Christian Wade should have a pretty damn good match.
Yeah,
take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, right.
Agreeing on something.
Maybe it's something to avoid.
Right.
Anyway,
stay away from the Rossi 9 because Danny Kerr is present.
Yeah, he's a prick. All right. Yeah. OT dubs real quick here. So yeah, my guy is going against a team that surrendered plenty last week, and I don't see why they're not going to surrender plenty this week. And he scored well. Didn't score a try, still scored well. My star of the week for this round of the Champions Cup is Mike Haley from Munster.
Nice. My star of the week again. I'm looking for here bubble players. Like if you have to make a decision on these guys, like I could fucking tell you, like anyone from La Rochelle, like that's too fucking easy. Well, and I am gonna pick somebody from La Rochelle and looking at somebody who's probably available in your league, and that's Anton Hastoy.
He's not available in the Skids League because George played him against me.
That sucks. He's available in our league.
Scored 30 last week.
Oof. Yeah, exactly. So someone certainly worth taking a look at and having on your squad. Oh, he's no longer available, by the way. It looks like Mark picked him up. So
somebody was smart and got ahead of that. Look at that. No room to hide here in CYL.
Right.
My state of the week. I love him as a player. I love his team, but this competition is just a different beast, and he's playing a different beast entirely this week. Got balled up last week. Don't love it this week at all whatsoever. Going over to Dublin. My state of the week is Santi Carreras from Gloucester.
Yep, I've already not only sat him, but I cut him.
Wise decision.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I'm not gonna add him. I might, maybe I'll add him in round 4, but I might not. Like he's done. I don't need him anymore. So bye.
Right. No, I'm with you on that one.
My sit of the week is someone who there's probably a Prem fan here and there who's like, no, this guy is awesome and he should be on my team, and they're not wrong.
But
Ollie Hassel-Collins right now.
Oh no, man, yeah, it's gonna be a tough whole week for him.
Right, not a good draw against the Stormers. At the Stormers, the travel, all that, not good. This is like the worst time to play an exile.
Balls, yeah. All right, pick of them. Leinster and Gloucester Friday.
Leinster.
Same. Bordeaux and Sharks.
Bordeaux.
Yep. Sounds right to me. Travel's tough.
Yeah.
Exeter and Bulls. Same reason. Exeter.
I'm going Bulls.
You go Bulls? All right.
I think that Bulls can keep
I hope I'm
scoring.
wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I just think that there's like Exeter will at some point run out of points, and the Bulls can just keep going.
They will do that. I don't disagree with that. Edinburgh up in Scotland against Cast. Edinburgh. Yep. Leon and Sarries. This is Sarries competition. Sarries.
Yeah.
Leicester and Claremont. I'm going to take the guys at Welford Road.
I'm actually going to go with Claremont.
All right. And this is like their competition. This is their jam,
right?
And I respect that. But just going to Welford Road is a fucking task. That's the only thing.
It is. It certainly is. But this isn't the same Leicester team. And
right.
Also, where's their coach's head at?
Oh, I can understand that as well. Totally.
So there's distractions there.
Yep.
Stormers I think that hurt Leicester this past week too, but that's just me.
Yeah, Stormers and Irish.
Stormers, obviously.
Yeah. Also La Rochelle. Montpellier Sprays.
Montpellier.
Yep. Toulouse and Sale. I'm going to go with the French.
Me too.
Yeah.
Moi aussi.
Back home. Northampton and Munster.
Is this such a flip a coin though?
That's a good,
I don't know
that they looked good. They looked like they're competing with Toulouse, who are European, and they themselves have been European champions, obviously, at one point. But this Toulouse team still has a lot of the team that played in that final. So,
oh no, I'm talking about Munster Saints. I'm on the next.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, and still, Munster look like they're gonna. They look like they're gonna cause trouble.
Right. But Munster are going to cause trouble. But are they a team that's going to take advantage of the Saints' defense? Do they play in a way that's going to take advantage of that? And I'm not
Carberry
certain.
And Casey, I bet you they do.
That's true. Carberry could run right through. All right, you've convinced me. I'm going Munster.
Yeah. No, if it was Connor Murray, I'd be a little bit more question marked. But no.
Yeah.
If it's Carberry and Casey, yes. And then Quinn's Rossing. I'm taking Rossing, and I feel dirty about that, but I'm going to.
I'm taking the home team.
Okay, fair enough. So we got a few different. So we're not going to be on the same number this week, that's for sure, because we have an odd number of games. So this will be interesting.
Okay, that's good.
This is usually where things get fun. So
yeah.
All right. Fantasy Rugby Podcast at gmail.com. Sheets coming out at the end of the week. We're gonna do whatchamacallit. I'll do the rankings. We'll do start set on Friday and all that stuff. Any other questions? You know where to find us. And we appreciate you all for what's up.
The updated Prem sheet should be out later this week too.
Look at that.
Not too much, or at least it'll be available ahead of the waivers at the end if there's still waivers, whatever.
Which Tuesday. Is good, yeah. Before people start taking a look for next week.
Right. I'll have that out. There's still some work to be done about player averages and position. Opponent position averages, stuff like
working on that part.
Working through.
Yep. All right. But yeah, other than that, we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us, listening to us. Tune in next week for Festivus. We'll catch y'all then. Enjoy the Ruggers this weekend. Have a good one, everyone.
Later.
Cheers.